So, something that has always fascinated me is the idea of building into the ocean, building underwater, and it's been something I've been fascinated with since I was a kid. I used to watch this TV show called Sequest DSV that was all about the submarine under the water, and um, like Star Trek, but with a submarine underwater rather than a ship in space, and there was all sorts of civilizations down there. It was a great series, a really interesting show. I must try and find some copies of it. If it still exists some way. I'd love to rewatch it. I only remember bits and pieces of it, but I was fascinated as a kid. Anyway, so when I saw a game about building under the water, it really caught my attention, and I had to play it. Unfortunately, it is not really much of a management game, which is kind of what I was hoping for. Really, it's a sort of an inverse Tetris rather, but nevertheless, it has a really good gameplay mechanic, and it's a lot of fun. It's a very good looking game. And let's jump in, and we'll show some gameplay off, and then we can talk about our wishes and critiques for the game after that. So yeah, we're going to just play classic mode, and yeah, let's jump in. Okay, right. So this is our gameplay window. We have the head of our facility that we're trying to build, which is the surface station. We have the ocean. We have a sort of a canyon that we were building into and some seaweed. And we have blueprints. Here is our building sort of money, as it were, the points we have. And each blueprint, as you can see, costs a certain amount. This one is a bunker that costs 30 points to place. And this one is a business center, which costs 25 points to place, and we can just drag them out and place them, as you can see, in some kind of Tetris-like structure. And if I let go, that will then build there and cost me 30 points. And this one is shaped like this, but as you can see in the blueprint description, you get 15 points for each building 3 tiles away when built. So there are buildings up there that are within the 3 tile thingy, so we're getting an extra 15 points for each of those, which means that rather than cost us 25 points, this is actually going to gain us 35 points. So let's build that, and our point score actually went up because of the way this thing works. And we have 2 new blueprints, so we now have a habitat, but in this shape. And we'll probably gain some points because we can attach it to the business center, which, as you can see, the habitat description, it says it's plus 10 points for each adjacent building of other type when built. So we'll gain some points for connecting to the business center. And this is also a habitat, just a slightly different shape. Let's build this one. Actually, that one gives us 10, but if we have this one, only gives us the 110. Yeah, so we want the squarer habitat because we can connect in more ways, and we get more points for it. So I think we did ultimately lose to 10 points for that one, but nevertheless, we're in a positive score. Instead of 200, we've gone to 225, and that's a really good start to the game. Now, sadly, we only have more habitat buildings, but we can build one up here and just gain some free points, I guess. We gain a plus 10 there. Oh, and now we have a factory. Factory is interesting because these are ground tiles, and a factory will give you extra score for every ground tile that you connect it to. I guess they need to be earthed, as it were. So we still lose points there, but we gain a bit, and we've gone a little bit further down. So now we have scaffolding, which doesn't give you any points back, but it only costs half the number of points that otherwise built. I can see we've gained an extra point of cost as we've gone deeper. Let's build some habitat down here. Is there any better way we can place it? No. So I'll build like so. And that essentially is the gameplay. You basically keep building as deep as possible until you run out of building points, and then the game sort of ends, and you get the score for the depth that you have built. I think we've built 5 depths so far. So we've just started, and that's it. That is all of the gameplay I'm going to show you. So if you're just here to see the gameplay, I hope that has entertained you and amused you. And there are sort of other blueprint types. There's like a seaweed farm and a city center and other things that they all have their own bonuses and things like that. So there's plenty to discover in the game still. I don't want to show you. I want you guys to come and look for yourself. So yeah, if that's all you came to see, thank you for watching. Please don't forget to like. Please don't forget to subscribe. And please don't forget to comment, because engaging with the video teaches YouTube to show you more videos that you might like to see. And it's good for me, obviously, because engagement pushes my video. So it's a mutual benefit. So, it's a few clicks and it's free. Don't forget to have a look at that. And that's it from the gameplay side. Now we're going to talk about the critique. And I got a fair bit to talk about here, because in terms of the way the game is, like I said, it kind of got my hopes up that it was a slightly different game, and I would love to see this turned into that kind of game, or at least the developers use this basic structure, this tile set, and this gameplay mechanic to turn this into more of a, well, to create a more management game that I think would actually be charge worthy, as it were. The devs seem to be really into building for the Ludum game day, which this was made for. So I don't know. Maybe it's about time they started doing something for themselves, as it were. So to start off with the UI. The UI is a little unusual. This kind of dragging blueprints across thing. I haven't really come across something quite like that before. It's as a sort of the main sort of interaction mechanic for it, but it works really well and it's really interesting, and I mean it serves the game. This is in its way quite a unique game, and that's fine. There are unfortunately no kind of menu options in the game. I don't think there actually is a way to get back to the menu. So let's just reload and jump in again. And I don't know what these QR codes and things are. And this console, I haven't clicked on those too much. Anyway, I mean, it's something we can experiment with later. So yeah, in terms of the UI, I mean, the buttons are fine. Everything is themed okay. You can change the shaders. You can switch to full screen, which is what I did. You can change the language. I think it's just probably English and Russian. Yeah, it is a pity that the sound control only has a master volume and no separate sort of sounds versus music controls. And there's no real in-game explanation about how to play. I figured it out because of the bits of information down here that shows you what to do, and the gameplay is quite simple, but a tutorial would have been nice, and something like that, and kind of less music, more sort of undersea sounds would have been amazing. Sort of the complexity and depth of the sounds that you can make for a game like this is incredible. So more undersea atmosphere is, I think, what is missing from this, to take it to the new level. The art is stunning. It looks really, really good, but it needs the sounds to catch up to it, and the ability to strip out the music. I wish I knew what the name meant. I did a little bit of Googling to try and figure it out, but nothing really jumped out at me. The game. Let's talk about the game feeling and the game immersion, because it is for me a little bit disappointing. Not in terms of the quality of the game. I mean, the game is fantastic in itself, and it's even more so when you consider it's a Dare game, a game jam game for the Ludum Dare game jam. So yeah, none of my criticism is on that vector. I'm definitely not saying this is in any way a bad game. It's actually a really, really good game, and congratulations devs for that. But when I first saw it in the itch.io games list, I was like, oh, an undersea management game, and I would have loved to have seen that. So I guess the disappointment was that it wasn't quite what my expectations had immediately latched onto, and I would love to see a game like that would use this tile set and this kind of design idea, but actually build an underwater city management system and a management game, not just this kind of reverse Tetris, but an actual, you have people and you have resources coming in, and you have to balance all the anchor points, and you have to build sort of more slowly and more carefully, because you're actually managing this living city rather than just, as I said, playing kind of reverse complicated Tetris. That's really what I would have liked to have seen. I want to see this idea of underwater city building, or an underground version as well would also really be interesting. I think as a species we need to get better at building into the ground, rather than sort of building higher above it. I know it's a lot easier to build higher, but it's a lot less safe. Whereas underground cities would necessarily be a lot safer, a lot more protected from disasters, and the population would have to be a lot more aware of their resource consumption and things like that. It would be more interesting. And I'm now rambling, digressing. Anyway, so yeah, that's my strongest criticism for this game is I want more of it. I want more management components, more complexity. Obviously that would take it away from the quick Tetris-like game that we have been playing, and that might be a bit of a loss. And obviously not what the developers were trying to get to. But I suppose there's just that kid in me who wants to manage a city that's underwater. I know there's other games like that, but you always want more games. Anyway, so that was a look at Povodsk. Like I said, the real critiques is just work on the sounds and the sound management. Otherwise, great game. Come and play it. Link will be in the description as per standard practice. And thank you for listening. And I hope to see you in the next video.